Born too late to explore the Earth. Born too early to explore the universe. Born just in time to explore the limits of my own patience. Welcome back to Pathologic. We have 2 more campaigns to play. I'm probably actually going to start a new playlist or whatever with this one. Separate it from the previous playthrough, I think. So if you're seeing part 1 and you're thinking, but he's saying he's already played the game and we're jumping in at the midpoint, don't worry about it. It's a completely fresh campaign. You're not really going to know much of what's going on. But this time, I am going to have some semblance on the mechanics of the game and hopefully not fuck it up quite as bad as I did last time and take like 40 fucking hours to get through it. And that'll be real cool, I think. I've got a game plan. I've got ideas. We're going to be doing the Bachelor campaign. I think we should have the Changeling unlocked now because we completed the Harrow specs, but we'll leave her till last because she's obviously a special case. I'm just going to talk over them now, sorry. If you want to hear what they say at the start here, then go watch my other videos, but yeah, we have a game plan, and that game plan I think is going to largely involve hoarding things that we can trade for Schmauder, doing as much murder of bad people in the early stages of the game as possible so we can stockpile stuff that matters, and just generally not dying, I think is number 3, is plot point number 3. Not dying quite as much, which, you know, that may sound difficult, but I think I've got a firm enough grasp on this game now that I can go in with just a little twinge of optimism, which is quite unlike me, but you know. Oh, we can just skip this. I didn't realise that. I thought we had to listen to them talk. So yeah, we're going to be doing The Bachelor. And the history of humanity witnessed a number of catastrophes that have demonstrated without a shadow of a doubt the pettiness of human achievement and the triumph of incredible evil. Outbreaks of infectious diseases have, from time to time, wiped towns and cities off the map, and they are undoubtedly among these. However smart and virtuous, the people caught up in the destructive events have repeatedly come to the conclusion that it's of no use trying to fight these circumstances. The best you can do is bite the bullet and cope with your losses. This is the story of a person who has managed to work a miracle and defeat a seemingly unvanquishable foe. Is that what he did? He mostly just sat in his girlfriend's house and told me to bring him things, but obviously he's going to be a bit more proactive when I'm in control, let's put it that way.
A Bachelor of Medicine was brought here by circumstances most unfortunate. Dankovsky's life work, his theory challenging the existing notions of human mortality, is being harshly persecuted by the powers that be. Suddenly, a letter arrives from a colleague suggesting that there is previous undiscovered evidence which may support Dankovsky's claims. There is a settlement, the letter says, ruled by an extraordinary man who may well be seen as objective proof of Dankovsky's daring hypothesis. Grasping at straws of hope, Dankovsky decides to follow what he believes to be the sign of divine providence. Without further ado, he sets off for the settlement. Late at night, Bachelor arrives in the town. As he seeks room and board, he gets to know a girl called Eva Yan and stays at her place till dawn.
Wow, he wasted no fucking time, did he? I assumed this was going to like start a little bit before the Harrospexis campaign. That was dramatic. Yeah, I assumed this was going to be a few days prior to the Harrowspecs arriving, and we were going to like establish a connection with Ava, but I guess he just fucking met her day 1 and was like, can I live at your house now? Is that Brick? That's his name, right? The general. It's not, is it? No, that's Alexander. I don't know, I'm probably going to struggle with remembering who's who in this game. It's not been long, but I know him. I know Big Vlad. But yeah, my memory ain't too hot, honestly. and the plot of this game was convoluted at best. That's Georgie, I believe, and presumably his wife, sister, whoever, the other girl who is about in that area. Wow, I never really noticed how massively half-naked she was. Is she meant to be like... I don't know, maybe this is presuming too much, but is she meant to be like a sex worker or something? Is that a thing? Someone's knocking at my door, hang on. That was unexpected. Some bloke just showed up and started quizzing me about my milk using habits. I think he was working for a milkman, wanted to set up a milk round, which is something I didn't even know fucking existed anymore, to be honest with you. I mean, we used to get milk from a milkman back when I was a kid, but you just get it in shops now, and it's cheaper that way, so I don't know. Anyway, let's get back to the game, shall we? As of today, my mission remains obscure. The examination of Simon Kane, who is rumoured to be a man of incredible longevity, may shake the very foundation of modern thanatology and challenge the existent notions of death itself. However, this is the undying Leviathan. Try that one again. Why can I not read when it comes to this game? I swear I don't do this badly normally. However, even if this undying Leviathan proves to be more than a fairy tale, the mere confirmation of his existence won't suffice to prevent the powers that be from shutting our laboratory down. I need to figure out the most fruitful approach. Simon is a well-respected man, and if he mistakes my interest for effrontery, it will be nigh impossible to convince him to help me break new ground in this field of human vitality. Interesting, so this clearly is before the Haruspex has arrived, before Artemy has shown his face, because Simon is still alive, it would seem. And I guess that's what brought our friend the Bachelor here, because he's basically investigating human immortality, and apparently Simon lived a real long time. Day 1, by the end of which the Bachelor finds himself battling a truly unvanquishable foe. What have I got then? I've got my fists, I've got a scalpel, alright, I assume that works like a knife. I start with some drugs, that's nice, and 30 kerosene, because you never know when you might need 30 kerosene. Cool. Not a bad haul. I'm pretty certain I started with basically nothing as the Haruspex, right? Hello. How you doing, love?
I had a feeling you would come.
Did the sounds from outside wake you up too? There was a terrible groan and then something snapped loudly. No, I heard nothing. I think there are strangers in the backyard by the pond. They're unlikely to be planning mischief, but I have a bad feeling about this. I'm afraid to go out to them. I hope they go away soon and stop disturbing our sleep. I'd like to thank you for your hospitality, for board and bed. I sincerely hope you have everything you need, because I'm very happy to have you here. Daniel, is it? She doesn't even know his name. She's like, yeah, just live in my house, it's fine. Could you please tell me where your ruler, Simon Kane, lives? Are you willing to trade the company of a fascinated woman for that of a dreadful old man, even if he is a sorcerer? That's so sad. But Simon won't go anywhere. He has always been, he always will be, even if the moon were to fall from the ground. Or to the ground, in fact. Please stay with me a little longer. Simon is a sorcerer. Did I hear you right? Is that the secret to his longevity? Are you in that much of a hurry? Do come round. The Canes are asleep now. Take your knockabout coat off. Have a rest in my bed. Let me warm your hands. You are so anxious to see Simon, as though your life depended on it. My life, yes. Now that my laboratory is on the brink of destruction, my whole life's pursuit depends on that remarkable man. If he really did manage to live that long, then his tissues will help me defeat death. I know he means his flesh, but it's just funnier if you imagine that he just needs a box of Kleenex to overcome death. Death. So that's the enemy you've chosen for yourself. Isn't it hard? I don't think anyone has managed to defeat that evil yet. My enemy is inevitability. I'm challenging the forces of nature. I don't understand. I can barely understand it myself. Could death only seem inevitable to us, but in reality be nothing more than the whim of a will that had shaped this world? That is the question. So where is the key to my victory? It's not far. The Canes live at the Crucible on Bridge Square. But could I please offer you a piece of advice? Go on. Simon has two younger brothers. The eldest of the two, Georgie, is called the Judge by the Locals. Visit him first. He isn't asleep. He'll teach you how to speak with Simon. The youngest of the three is Victor. His daughter Maria also wanted to see you, but it's probably important. Was it she who knew about my arrival beforehand? Yeah, she told me about it privately. Talking to her is no simple task. Maria is that kind of person. She puts on airs, but that's just how the Canes are. It was Maria who told me that she would help you defeat death. That's the precise wording. What a coincidence. Alright, well thank you in advance. Go. I'll prepare everything for your return. Do come back after you speak to the Canes. They'll probably do a lot of things that will puzzle you and put you on guard. I have some advice that may be of help to you if you need it. Okay, I'll come back. Yeah, I know where they are. I'm intimately familiar with a lot of this town at this point. Okay, so immediately, let's get into the habit of save scumming. Immediately. This is something I did not rely on enough until like the final few sessions last time. Venerable Bachelor, please be so kind as to linger a minute. The conversation won't take too much of your time, especially since time stops during dialogues. Hold up. Hang on. At least during the important ones, as our dialogue is extremely important. You need to know how to play after all, don't you? Play? What are you talking about, Masked Man? I'm neither a gambler nor an actor. Of course you aren't. You're a living, breathing man, as is evident from your conditions and statuses. You experience hunger, thirst, and fatigue. You suffer from pain, wounds, and diseases. You're so lifelike. You have to eat, drink, sleep, and rest, and to make mistakes. No, I don't. Not me. If I may, I would like to point out just how important it is to keep an eye on your condition. If you get dizzy or unnaturally sluggish, do have it checked up. Vital processes tend to run faster during emergencies than in everyday life. I knew a person who died of stress but was diagnosed with starvation. Cut with the silliness, good sir, I can take care of myself. So, I don't remember getting this degree of tutorialization when I was playing the Haruspecs. It really does feel like you're meant to just play the Bachelor first, which I probably should have done, it, you know, left to right and all that. I just like the look of the Haruspecs more. I liked his vibes. But if the Haruspecs is indeed supposed to be like the second campaign, I don't know why they had it unlocked from the start. They should have just made you play each one linearly, but I don't know. Halt! I'm going to have to teach you about the technicalities of the setting, the time and place. It's non-essential, but that's just how it is. The actor has to be prepared before he goes on stage, or else he'll fall down the aisle or stumble upon the prompt box. That would look mighty silly, wouldn't you agree? You're going to teach me, aren't you forgetting your manners? My manners? There are different manners of life and thought, none of them mine. If everything goes awry, you'll have a chance to witness each of them. That is something you should probably try to avoid. As for now, please forgive my rudeness. I'm in a special position here, and so I have the right to be blunt sometimes. And who are you? I'm an actor in a tragic mime show. That's unimportant. Will you listen to me or not? No, I'll do without your help. I don't need teaching shit, man. So presumably these are the people Maeva was talking about hanging outside her house. The tutorial NPCs. Fair enough, I suppose. Right, so one thing I need to be a lot more proactive about this time is looting bins. I need to loot all the bins all the time to stockpile, that's the word I was looking for, needles and flowers and all the other good things that we can trade for Schmauder, because we're going to need a lot of that, I think. Or at least a healthy supply of that. So that we're not scrabbling around for it and having to play like absolutely perfect gameplay in the final moments of the game like we did last time. Nice to be prepared in advance, you know? I don't think this game is going to be anywhere near as brutal as it was for me in the Haruspecs campaign. Knowing now what I knew then, but I don't know, maybe I'm being overly optimistic. It wouldn't be the first time. Put the fist down. Let's not get aggressive yet. I believe this is Georgie Boy's house.
I'm deadly tired.
Alright, maybe sleep then, Brad. I went to call him bro and blood at the same time and it just came out as brud. Fucking hell, maybe I'm deadly tired as well. Most venerable doctor, it is with great impatience that we have been expecting you. You need not delve into the minutiae of your business with us, since our family is well acquainted with your scholarly work. We are also quite aware of the difficulties you are experiencing and well prepared to do our utmost to support you. It hurts me all the more to be the one to inform you that Simon, I wasn't prepared for this word. my consanguineous is probably how that's pronounced. I don't know what it fucking means. Sanguine is blood, right? So my bloodless brother? Is that what that means? I don't know. My consanguineous brother, the creator, keeper, and the embodiment of all that surrounds us, has been murdered. It's interesting that they talk about Simon being like unnaturally long-lived, but not Georgi here, when, I mean, if they're brothers, presumably they're relatively similar age, right? I don't know. I can't believe it. It cannot be. My brother was murdered last night under the strangest of circumstances, but for all the mystery surrounding his death, I'd rather eschew the notion that his departure was connected with whoever visited Simon that evening. The visitor is a man of laudable rectitude and an old friend of the family. There were witnesses to testify that he and Simon did nothing but converse. Who was the visitor? Someone you know quite well. The man with whom my brother saw last night was your colleague, Isidore Barak. Oh, Artemis' daddy, okay. Was he not the very person to advise you to come here as well? I would have told you that I'd been brought here by the hand of fate not so long ago, a naive man that I was. Isidore has done more than he thinks. I have a lingering feeling that time itself was using uncontestable powers to further its own intentions. What do you think? I'm no fatalist. It could be that my mind is clouded by sorrow, but I cannot escape the feeling that your arrival was no coincidence. Your choice was made for you, my dear doctor. Let us not blame fate for it. Isidore wrote to you about making us aware. He took a risk that could have displeased our family. Really? Even though we were uncertain of when you would arrive, my brother was looking forward to meeting you. A tragedy may have been a consequence of the actions he took in preparation for your arrival. Someone has taken a powerful piece from the chessboard, a piece upon which your position here depended. It is doubly regrettable that Simon was playing on your side. Oh, my sincerest condolences to you. Is there anything I can do to help? Do you want to help us, Doctor? Find the murderer for us? My brother Victor, who is in the West Wing next door, would share some of his thoughts on the matter. Help us, and the reward will not disappoint you. Indeed, it seems there are too many coincidences. Your brother's murder can just as well be called the murderer of Bachelor Dankovsky. I will help you in any way I can. I am convinced that if there is anyone at all that can help us solve the puzzle, then it's you. This mission calls for someone as astute and struggled with the word inventive this time, bloody hell, and inventive as yourself. If Isidore was an instrument of fate, then Simon's murder is a message that fate intended for you personally. Do not think I am inclined to blame you for that. I am not. Then how do you plan to look for the murderer? We will take our own measures. The only thing I expect from you is to be yourself. Do only what you think is required. Whatever you find out, whatever you do, whatever your day turns into, everything is a clue for the solution of the puzzle. I repeat, everything that is happening here is happening on your account. You stop being such a prick about it. Fine, I'm fine with this course of action. Alright, I guess I'll go speak to Victor. To old Vicky boy. The third Kane. I don't really think I had many dealings with him. From what I recall. I didn't really have many dealings with any of these fellas, honestly. The Kanes in general. I didn't even know there was a child Kane. Khan Kane, which is the silliest name, until like the end of the game when I was playing through before. So obviously a much bigger piece in the puzzle when you're playing as the Bachelor. Where's... Did I just completely miss her? Oh, yeah, I did, okay. Just realised how heavily that dress accentuates her nipples. Let's put some little suns on the nipples. They're basically nipple tassels, it's fucking silly.
Feverish. What can it be?
You resemble an adventurer rather than a doctor. I am an adventurer. I saw you in a dream, don't flatter yourself. My desires have nothing to do with that. I simply saw you take us all by the throat. Cruel words, but also honest. What's so bad about it anyway? The strong manipulate the weak when they want to. And it's all in my hands.
It came from below the ground.
Now listen closely. The
many
time for
years,
collusion,
we were
secrets and
wearing
alliances has
clothes
come.
wrong.
I'm going to ask something of you. I'm not used to that. I'm used to holding the reins, but you are not harnessed, so it would be unacceptable to address you in this manner. I find solace in the fact that my request will be welcome with you. It fits the style of your venture. Yes, you better be polite. I don't take kindly to orders. I'm a creature of liberty. I apologise if my words came across as mangled and silly. I'm truly not used to asking. But the nature of my request demands complete and selfless humility. Just imagine me begging and kneeling, and believe me, I do feel that way. No need to kneel. What did you want to talk about? Today's death was the first, but it won't be the last. Simon has opened the score of irreplaceable victims. Soon the number will multiply. I beg you to preserve the lives of several people. Oh, so she's like the, Capella, presumably, of this story. He's the one who's going to oversee the list of people I need to protect. Where was I up to? I've lost track. Mid-sentence I stopped there. I beg you to preserve the lives of several people when the lines of their fortune cross yours. Before any of them dies, there will be a moment when you will be able to intervene. I know that for a fact. Who are these people? That doesn't matter. What was destined to happen will happen. You can be whatever you want to be, but not a coward choosing to hear no evil and run away from reality. I'll give you a list of those I know of. These people are bound to you. What in the world is going on here? Are you trying to flirt with me? Ah yes, you haven't been told, have you? It didn't even cross my mind that someone may be unaware of my abilities. No one here dares doubt them, for they are evident. Yes, the mistress of every ruling house possesses special abilities. I'm learning to see the future and transform the present. Forgive me, but I don't believe in these type of phenomena. I expected it to say premonitions, and then I realised it didn't because it began with a PH, and I was like, what does it say? Pheromones? Phenomenon is the word that we're going for there. I should apologise in advance. I feel like most of this video is just going to be mocking my own inability to read. Will you comply with my request? Will you save the lives of the people I name you? Answer me before going back to Eva. I always follow my principles. It doesn't matter which lines of fortune cross, there will be no exceptions. Georgi, Victor. Andrei Stamatin. Is he the artist bloke? Yeah, Andrei and Peter Stamatin. They both left town really early in Barak's story, so I didn't really have many dealings with them, but good to remember they exist. Maria Kana. Eva Jan. And Mark Immortel. Oh, the theatre guy. Okay. All people I acknowledge exist, so that's good. Well, thanks for the chat. It was most enlightening. I need to go speak to your other brother now. About the death of your other brother. Are you two following me? What do you want now? There is something in particular we feel the urge to warn you about. When you speak to the bound, please choose your words carefully. Do not worry, you will easily be able to make out what kind of person is standing before you, an observant man that you are. So use that skill when dealing with the bound. Some of them are indeed worth insulting, whereas others need to be treated with utmost respect. If I ever engage with conversations with someone, it won't be for personal gain. Each conversation will bring you a small profit, depending on the outcome, of course. How small a profit? A handful of money. It's not a dialogue fee, don't get me wrong. Never refuse to take small sums of money from the bound. That would not belittle you in any fashion, but would rather demonstrate that you appreciate the local customs. Alright, I'll keep the local customs in mind. I did not realise. Was that something that was happening for... Hello. Was that something that was happening for Artemy as well? Was I gaining money when I spoke to people? I didn't clock it if that was true. I just seemed to gain money randomly. I just seemed to pick it up off the floor. The town is small and rather unexceptional, isn't it? But there are all kinds of people here. The simple folk and the more remarkable ones. The former will tell you more than they know. The latter, way more than they're ever going to let out. Keep a close eye on them. Your victory depends on it. My victory depends on me and no one else. That's what you think. You have plenty of time to realise how wrong you are. Your fight is not a fight of action. You need middlemen, cause and effect chains, tools. The tools to act out your script. If I ever need someone, I'll find them. Not anyone will be good enough. There are a few people here capable of doing something worthwhile. How many? There are 20-something of them, easily distinguished by their lodgings or their presence. They're called many names. The Bound, the Fated, the Adherents, the Gobos, Talga, the Town Circle. Simon preferred their company to any other. Is that like a sect or something? No, there used to be a pagan game called Tagla. A roundelay of sorts. A Tagla means a kin's circle, and Gobo is a character from a local epic. So the people that Simon was interested in the most are called Gobos Tagla. Some of them don't even know about one another. So how did Simon choose them? Because it is they that will decide the fate of this town. Don't be distracted by the fact that some of them look insignificant or disreputable. They will earn their worth, and you will give them time. They're the most important joints of the town. So why are you telling me all this? Each day one of them will try death by the tooth. Each will put their life at risk, and each one that dies is important. Some of them may take the keys to the victory to the grave. Mind that the keys are yours while the grave is theirs. Others will do the opposite. Don't waste your chance to condemn someone who may get in your way. How do you know what is helpful and what gets in the way? Okay, alright. Dropping you more hints would be cheating. Shutting up now. Allow me to conclude then. Each bound you save will influence the finale of your adventure. Each of them has their own goals and motives. It may so happen that each of those who seek a different ending survive. And then, well, you've been warned. Okay, I'll take that into account and be careful. See, this is all knowledge that would have been very helpful playing through the Harrispex's campaign. If ever I'm talking to anyone about this game in future, I will always tell them 100% of the time, start with the Bachelor. If you want to learn what the game is, maybe play the Bachelor first. I don't know, I might have got some of this information drip fed to me as the Harrispex and it just went over my head, but I don't think I got much of it. Oh yeah, I forgot about this very cool statue. I like it. I want that statue. The weird upside down fetal position fella. Hello Victor. You're way younger than your brothers, aren't you?
I feel as though my blood is getting thicker. An omen, is it not?
The famous Dr. Dankovsky, your arrival is a great honour for us. Victor Kane at your service. My pleasure. I foresee that the things that you have become ordinary for us will probably make you feel uncomfortable and disturbed. I would like to compensate for that impression. You know, our small community has fallen out of the loop. Time leaves us behind. What do you mean? I mean the traditions. Games that we play with passion will most likely be of no interest to you. The people you meet here may seem eccentric, naive, or even somewhat deranged. Please take it easy on us. Don't judge us too strictly. I will do my best not to disappoint you.
It's like something is pulling my strings.
So how can I help you? Georgi told me everything, which is to say he told me very little, but it was enough to astound me. He maintains that you can provide a more detailed account. So you have agreed to help us? I have. May I ask why? We share a tragedy. I want to exact vengeance upon the one who robbed me and my work of a future. I'm prepared to answer any questions you may have. So when was Simon last seen? He sent Isidore home, then an hour later he came to the hall to see us. He announced his plans to withdraw to the Focus and receive no one. He told us not to approach the Focus and to fast for a week, partaking of neither meat nor water, and then in the morning he was found dead. What's the Focus? I've not heard the Focus mentioned before. Is this like a different term for something that we know exists? Could he have been poisoned? No, he hadn't eaten or drunk anything for several days, and prior to that he'd only drunk wine from the old household stock. He would open the bottles himself, so alcohol poisoning then. What made him take such precautions? I've never really thought about it. Indeed, but were they precautions at all? He was always conducting experiments on himself, not only on his body, but on his time, his language, his way of thinking, even his fate. So his death could have been the outcome of one such experiment? I think between you and me that this is precisely what my brother Georgi fears. I can say nothing more about that. How was the body discovered? The servants discovered him in the morning. The room had been ransacked. Everything that was breakable had been broken. His disfigured, contorted body bore signs of terrible suffering. His neck was twisted, his spine broken, I think. No one has touched the body. It is currently inside the focus and will remain there for the prescribed amount of time. So what's this focus place? It's hard to explain. Just assumed it would say the word understand there for some reason. It's hard to explain. It's his study, if you will, an extraordinary, spacious, creative laboratory, almost perfectly sealed off except for the door that was visible at all times, metaphorically speaking. I don't understand. It's like an equation or a mirror puzzle. Anyway, the murderer could not have been hiding there, take my word for it. Or Simon did get in there somehow. He could perform far more impressive feats. There's a reason why the whole town revered him. Tell me honestly, dear Victor, did Simon exist at all? Bravo, Doctor, that is indeed a spark of genius to you. Alas, yes, he did. Alas? It's not that I would benefit from his death, alas, for that would be too simple an explanation. Simon well and truly did exist. That is exactly what left everyone in disarray. It was hard for them to accept his existence, that the thought of his demise is now driving them mad. Interesting. Interesting. You are all his heirs. Wouldn't you all benefit from his death? Didn't the old man rather overstay his welcome in the world? His death is a challenge to our continued existence. We are neither insane nor suicidal. So who do you suspect? Just take a look around, trust your intuition. Do whatever you like, speak to whoever you feel the need to. Look for the murderer, Doctor, and you will find them. Keep looking to the last breath. I'm sure your rational thinking will help you. So Isidore's my only lead. How can I find him? I'll show you, but you must be careful. Simon's murderer, whoever they are, could not have been an ordinary person. I can't imagine them being a person. I fear it could only be fate, wearing the guise of a mysterious monster. I don't believe in fate. So that's Isidore Barak's house, is it? I feel like was that one of the houses I passed through that was just an empty shell of a house at some point, or was that a house I could never get into? No, I'm thinking of this one. I passed through this one a few times to avoid guards. But this one, I don't think I ever went in. Presumably because it's Isidore's house and it becomes locked off as soon as he dies. I guess we'll go over and see him then. I was told to return to Eva real quick though, so maybe we'll do that real quick. Just real quick, you know what I mean? Real quick. Just real quick. Yeah, he sort of got thrown into it, huh? Shows up, he's like, okay, I want to go speak to this bloke about his longevity, and then the guy's entire family is just like, actually he was murdered, can you go solve it for us? Dong. Dong. The bin there. Very excited to loot that bin, but quick word with old Eva first, I think. Ava. Ava, I think it's pronounced.
I had a feeling you would come.
The ominous singing outside the window is gnawing at me. Who could be singing at a time like this? I can't hear anything.
It's so quiet.
Very little time has passed, but I feel hungry and exhausted again. Since you've decided to fight death, you will have to be very careful. It's September. You'll be dying with every breath of our air. Bloody hell. What does September have to do with it? The steppe is full of various herbs. They fill the air with dizzying vapours. White whip, twire and swevery are dangerous in August and September when herbs surrender their juices to the sun. People tend to get headaches this time of year. Heart sufferers lie in bed with pains. My heart aches too. How do you people live here? Twire is a rare herb, so usually it's bearable. But this year is unbelievably plentiful. The elderly say that it's phenomenal. Nothing like this has ever happened before. They think it's a bad omen. Well, I don't believe that, but the air is droning. Can't you feel it? Don't you feel dizzy? Yes, the air is heavy. You need to sleep often. Never go hungry. Drink more water. You need to look after yourself properly. If you feel sick, forget everything else and get some rest. Otherwise, you may die of a heart attack or bleeding. Be careful, alright? The more I think and do, the faster I die. That's symbolism if ever I saw it. Interesting. I can see it, the game is already sort of setting Dankovsky up to think the town needs leveling. Spoilers, I guess, for later in the game if you haven't seen my previous sessions of this. But later on, there's going to be a bit of a war between the peoples of this town. Some of them want to destroy it, and some of them want to preserve it. And in Dankovsky's campaign, we were very much on the side of preservation, but I can see like the place being built in a site with these like poisonous herbs all around it makes Dankovsky very much think that maybe here isn't the best place to live, with its thick air, its thick, dizzying air. So we need to go head for old Isidore's house. I'm actually excited because we never really got to. I can't remember. I don't think we spoke to like a ghost of him or anything, did we? We heard his voice whispered in tunnels and stuff, but I don't think we ever actually saw Isidore. So this could be a thing. This is something new already off the bat. We're seeing characters who were like very much past tense by the time the other campaign started. How exciting. Ooh, sewing needle. Very useful. Very useful. Bit trigger happy with my button presses there. Nope. I'm certain at one point when playing this game I found... There we go. Yeah. You can fill water bottles from the water pumps. That makes sense. I guess they must turn off at some point. Like when you're far enough through the game. They must get disabled because I couldn't seem to do that anymore after a while. Oh, actually. Neurons just fired there. I saw a drunk fella. There he is. Because I believe he's going to want water from me, and I now have 9 of that, so... How about we barter, fella? Bandages for water? Fuck yeah, man. 5? Sure, go for it. Great trade. Fucking boss trade. How expensive's food on day 1, I wonder? This isn't the meat shop. Food prices fluctuate a lot in this game, so if you can find it cheap, buy it cheap. You know what I mean? Ooh, that is actually very, very cheap by this game standards. Don't think we have a good use for the gold ring. I never found a use for kerosene, so we'll just get rid of all of that. Everything else is either useful to me or useful for trading, so we'll keep hold of them. But I will take your vegetables, my good man. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. Keep an eye out for other food-based establishments so we can really stock up on the old good stuff. I feel like it is cheating a bit, knowing in advance that this game is going to get a lot harder. And sort of doomsday prepping the way I'm doing right now. But, you know. We can't... Not every experience with Pathologic can be your first experience with Pathologic. You know what I mean? Eventually you're going to have to know how the game works. And at that point it's only going to be natural to sort of prepare for the worst at all times. Because the worst is coming. The worst is definitely coming. Only a matter of time. Can't be far from Isidore's now, it's around here somewhere, right? More northerly. Okay, just stop at this meat shop real quick. It's very nice to start the game with a bit of reputation. 66! Fucking yes! Fresh fish is shit, actually. I will take the dried fish for sure. I've started with money, I've started with reputation. I wasn't brutally beaten up the second I arrived in town. Like, everything is just so much better as the Bachelor. I really am just playing this game on easy mode right now. It's crazy. I think if Past Joe had played the Bachelor first, he would have had nowhere near as much. I mean, yeah, I'm being very blindly optimistic that this game won't have its own elements of suffering involved, which of course it will. Of course it will. How much Meridorm have we got? Just the one. I will take all your Meridorm then, good sir. Thank you very much. You know, I'm sure there will still be plenty of challenges and plenty of times where I get incredibly stressed out and have serious shit to overcome in this playthrough, but yeah, I don't think it's. I can already feel that it's going to be smoother sailing. More food, please. Why are you locked? Oh, this is the meat shop here. Hello. Yes. Yes. Take the bread as well. Thanks, pal. Pleasure. Absolute pleasure doing business. This way. God, I feel so ready. I feel so ready to face the world. Have you seen the amount of shit I've got in my inventory? Like, I don't even feel the need to stock up on medical supplies. I just don't think I'm going to need them yet. Stocking up on food is definitely a smart move, though. I say I've got some medical supplies. It's not like I'm carrying nothing. Kind of taking the wrong turn here, but that's fine. We'll just loop back round to him. Can we cut through here? We can. Cool. It's this house. It's this house here. Yeah, I do remember this house not having a door. How do I get in? Not checked that side. I guess we'll... We need to come at it from around there, maybe? Oh, hello pals. What's up? As if I don't know what's happened here. A foul murder occurred here last night. No authorized access allowed. Inspecting the crime scene is strictly forbidden until further notice. Is this a bad dream or something? Can someone wake me up, please? Whoever killed our only doc must surely be looking to get us all killed. Isidore could cure anything. He also knew how to make cuts or incisions because he was a warden. He knew his lines alright. Like I said, it all makes sense. Whoever killed Simon took Isidore's life too. This is merely the beginning. Well, that's a lot of information to be giving a random citizen as a upholder of the law, Mr. Moustache, but alright. What makes you think the two cases are connected? Well, who would have had the heart to attack such men? If you had asked me yesterday, I'd have told you no one would dare inflict such an ugly wound on this town, but if there is someone, it has to be just that, someone. Although it looks fishy, if you ask me, that thing was no man. That's what I think. Explain yourself. See, this murderous deal is all mysterious. There was a talon stuck in the victim's chest. Go ahead, bend your arm at the elbow, good sir. Yeah, like that. There you go. That's how long it was. It broke off. There was dust on the floor, for the deceased had been a renowned step walker, and the dust was all covered in hoof steps and like traces of a sharp bone, I guess. If someone was using a walking stick round here, I'm telling you, it's her. The Shabnak Adir, the clay man-eater. I want to inspect the building. We've been assigned to this post by Alexander, the head of the Subarov family. His house is in decline right now, but it's still powerful and very much respected, for it is they that's been responsible for maintaining worldly order and public safety in this town since the olden days. Please kindly address your concerns to him. There's their rod. You can just take the road up there to get to the Cape. As for me, I'm not authorized to let you in. You should have said so from the start. Alright, Alexander Subarov. We're doing the proper rounds, getting to know everyone today, aren't we? And by today, of course, I do mean today in-game, and not today as in this current session of recording, because I'm going to end the video right about now.